Good morning, everybody. Susan here with Pumpkin Hill Stampers. So it's Monday, September 14th. I have a mystery case card challenge for you. And this week we're going to be doing some dry embossing cards. So the clues for over the weekend was to collect a dry embossing folder, so something you're going to use on your embossing machine, a sentiment stamp set, some sort of colored embellishment. Today I'm going to be just using red ribbon, frames or dies if you choose, and coordinating cardstock if you want. Now I've decided to do an all Whisper white card, so all my color is going to be white and my spot of color is going to be that red ribbon. So let me go through my card for you now. I've done my draw embossing ahead of time, but I wanted to show you what I started with. So I started with just a piece of Whisper white cardstock. I cut it at 11 by 4 1/4 and I scored it in half. Then I've used my Stitched So Sweetly frames, and I've got my cutout frame here, and then I used the new Tasteful labels, okay, and I cut out a Whisper white label, and the sentiment stamp set I'm going to be using is This Christmas Means More, and I'm going to do the I Believe. It's silly, but I believe. So let me show you what I've done with those pieces. All right, so with my Evergreen embossing folder, this is a new embossing folder from the holiday catalog. It's got these beautiful evergreen trees, and they're kind of a two-tiered embossing. Now, it might be a little bit hard to see on the card here, but these first line of trees down here are more embossed than those background trees, so it's like multiple layers of embossing. So I'm just going to take my bone folder, and I'm going to fold that in half. Give that a crease. So when I put that in my folder, you're going to notice when you get your folder, the trees go this way. So if you want your trees to go up and down on your card, when it opens up like this, I just put my card in there like this. I use my line on the envelope there to get it straight, and then I run it through my embossing machine this way. Okay, so just make sure your plates are inside the frame so that when they go through they don't rub those edges. So that's how I did the base. I just embossed that. Then I took this piece, okay, and I put it over here in my folder because I wanted that big tree that's going to be embossed more so. And I've got this panel. So Whisper white on Whisper white, right? And now I am going to pop that up with dimensionals. Then I took my little tag here, and I took my I Believe set, I stamped it in Versamark, and then I've gone ahead and heat embossed it in gold. So I've got a heat embossed tag, okay, to use. So let me go ahead and put my layers together. So this is a really simple card, some quick embossing, dry embossing and heat embossing if you choose, or you could just stamp your sentiment. Then I'm just going to layer this over the top, so it's just one piece of embossed over another piece of embossed, right? And that just kind of all melds. Then I've got my red ribbon. So this is how I did my ribbon. I didn't want a big fancy bow, but I wanted a little spot of color. So I've got my ribbon, I fold it in half, and I give it a little trim. Okay, so my edges are nice and pretty. Then watch what I do. I'm going to take the middle and I'm going to fold it over on itself, so kind of make like a V. And what I do there is after I make my V, I open it up, I take a little glue dot, if my hands will work this morning, take a little glue dot, and I put it right in where I want that fold. And then I just pinch it back together on itself. See? Just like that. And then if you want it a little bit shorter, you could always trim it again. I just take my pieces back like this. You want a little bit shorter. So I've just got this little V of a splash of ribbon here, right? So now I put that on another glue dot, and I'm just going to put this down here like a little flag. Now I've got my sentiment, and because this one is already popped up on a dimensional, I've only put a dimensional on one end. I put it on the end with the end of the sentiment because that's the end that's going to be off the edge, and then I've just got two glue dots in there. So I'm just going to place this over that ribbon and over the bottom of that frame. That just kind of ties in all of our pieces together. And there is our card. So this week, think about doing some dry embossing, right? So a little bit of dry embossing. Now I use 2 layers of dry embossing. You're certainly welcome to just use 1. Remember, you make your cards your way. Add in a sentiment, some sort of color embellishment. So it might be ribbon, it might be designer series paper, it might be a stamped panel, it might be colored cardstock. You choose. They're your cards, guys. And I'd love to see what you create. So remember, you can snap a photo and email it to me at susan@pumpkinhillstampers.com, and I will stick your name on it, that you were the creator, and post them on the show and tell page. And everyone who plays throughout the month gets tossed into the end of the month drawing for free shipping on your next order. So play along with us, have some fun, and stay tuned, because I've got more fun examples this week of dry embossing with just a spot of color. So until next time, do some fun stamping and have a great week. All right, everybody. Bye-bye.